Alright, how's it going? Once again, this is Jose Trujillo coming to you from the art studio. And today I have a slightly different composition or painting. Just a second. Hey, Monet, come here. Okay,
Hey guys!
sit down.
Listening?
Sit down right there, dude, because I'm going to need you.
Okay, Mom, don't take my things.
Awesome. Awesome of 2000.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to do a seascape. Okay, this is going to be an awesome seascape.
I'm bored.
And there's going to be a shore. And I'm going to do it with a palette knife. Just because it sounds cool, the palette knife. Alright, so here we go. Very simple. I don't respect the drawing much because it's only sort of a marker, you know, a little marker. It's not in stone. It's not set in stone. So I can do other stuff if I wanted to. So something like that, you guys. Scrape, 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 scrape. It's got a certain little magic to it. Don't get me wrong, it does. But I try to bring it to its bare essentials, and try to remove the mysticism. Away from our minds as we paint it, you know. Too many of us, too many artists tend to show artwork or do artwork from that point, and we all understand that it's very significant. But when we try to show it, it's either very theoretical or very airy fairy. It's either one or the other. That's been my go ahead, you can say it. My experience. It's been my experience, you guys. So it's either very, very nuts and bolts, like the sky is like here because of blah blah blah, and you know, all kinds of nuts and bolts that I mean only other art nerds care about. The rest of us normal people, you know, give two shits about because it's not why we want to paint. You know, it's not really why. The reason why we want to paint is because we enjoy it. You know, that's the whole point. That's the whole reason why we get into the damn thing. Anyways, start out with. We enjoy it. So just a second, I left you there. There's a lot of noise in the other room. And I got enough of my own noise. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back. So I try to make it simple, you know, because it's. Some people have asked me like, why you trying to make it sound so simple? And like, you know, you're almost removing the mystique from it, and it's not that I couldn't remove the mystique even if I wanted to. What I want to do is those of you who are in, you know, those of you who collect my artwork. I want to show a little behind the scenes. And those of you who don't collect my artwork, but who are looking to maybe paint on the weekends or take on painting, you know, just fully take on painting, I want to let you know that it's not this thing that it's not unavailable for you. It is available. It's hard work, but it's available. It's available, you know. Nevertheless, it's not far-fetched. We can do it, you know. It's not. I feel like part of the reason why I record these sessions is also, it serves as a daily reminder for me. I feel like I'm talking to myself, and I know someone pointed that out. Someone said I like the conversations you have with yourself. It really is that. It really is. Sometimes I forget that I have the camera, you know, recording me, because it's almost like if I'm having I'm sort of internalizing and recording as I'm going. As I mentioned, I'm not an art instructor. You know, I'm not by any means. I'm not. I don't plan on being one. It's not my gig. I'm a painter. But if I can show a bit of my process daily, you know, I may be able to bring some value to people who love art. You know, who like, maybe they're not looking to paint. Maybe you just enjoy art. You know, I don't know. Maybe you're just one of those souls that loves art. There's many of us out there. And loves this kind of art. You know? Or amongst other arts. There's a certain almost poetry you develop as you continue to paint. It's almost like you're stringing, you're quilting. Paint and movement. It's not just paint, it's movement. If it was just paint, it would look different. Some people say, "Oh, it's the paint, it's the paint." You know, it's not just the paint. It's married to so many other things, but it's married to movement. First and foremost, I think. Impressionism, I dare to say, you guys, would be nothing without the movement of the brushwork. The Impressionism wasn't just the revolutionary idea of painting with bright colors. You know, a lot of preliminary colors or using bold brushwork. It wasn't just bold; it's the movement itself, and it was getting to that point. You know, It was cooking. Eugène Delacroix was cooking that. Edouard Manet, certainly. Uh, Even the people that were trying to run away, the artists who symbolized the opposite of impressionism, like Gustave Courbet, they were cooking impressionism. They just didn't know it, but they were cooking impressionism. They were cooking it. And I refer to a lot about impressionism, not just because I like the concept, the art form. I refer a lot to it because it was a style where I could see freedom and I could feel safe having freedom as an artist when I first started. And if you see a painting by Jean Miro or I don't know, a Braque painting, a Picasso painting, it's not very difficult to say, oh, I'm going to abstract that abstract, and I'm not in any way speaking down about that, but it's I love those artists, by the way. So it's in no way am I talking about anything wrong with that art form. What I'm saying is that if you have something that is already abstracted, I could say that it's easier to if you like the paintings, right? It's easier to say, oh, I love that painting. I'm gonna paint like Miro, or or I paint like. It's a bit more challenging if your idea of art is, I don't know, Sorolla, or any realist out there, or Sorolla was more impressionist. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. It's a bit more challenging, right? To say, well, I love Caravaggio, but let me take it. But I'm going to go more abstract. It's a bit more challenging for your mind, not because it's challenging. For the mind, it's more challenging. Like, oh, okay, well, how do I make Caravaggio more abstract? Because you kind of take it bit by piece, piece by piece. It's slower. It's a slower transition. Is what I'm trying to say. It's a slower transition from Caravaggio to Braque. Right? It's much slower than if you start with Van Gogh and then you go to Braque or Picasso. You're like, oh, okay, well that transition is more, seems to be quicker, right? Sort of like I see it kind of like loss. How some people talk about, well, not some people, most of the world talk about laws, and if they take this law, they're going to take this other one. If we put this law, how is it going to affect the next one? It has to do with the proximity. How is it related? If well, that was a horrible example, but I hope I made any sense. But I think it has to do with that. It has to do with if you want to experiment with abstract art, what is your threshold? What is your fulcrum point? That place where you bend. What is it? If you love, like I mentioned, if you love Baroque art and you're just enamored by the chiaroscuro or the dark light, or those Greek Roman bodies that they painted, if you're enamored by that, it's a little hard to take from that to like Picasso's Meninas, right? Or it's a little harder to accept It might be, I don't know. If you're an art lover, it might not be. If you're a painter or an artist, it might be a little hard. Because the one who does seems to be more stuck in that, in my experience. The more you do it, the more stuck in that concept. So after I talked about all of this, what I'm really trying to get to is that finally is that it doesn't really matter what realism, what beauty, what abstraction means to you. It really has more to do with where you stand in that spectrum. What is realism to you? What is abstraction to you? Where in the spectrum do you fall? See, that's one of the things that many of us don't take into account. That this is not the 1800s anymore. If someone paints realism, it's merely by choice. It's not the only art form. If someone paints abstraction, you're not doing anything new. It's really everything is a derivative of a derivative, and it doesn't really, unless you're Banksy and you take somewhere else, right? It's now you go into the land of statements, right? Into that place, right? Where now you're not only creating art, you're creating statement pieces, right? It's a different. I mean, all art, right, at some point is a statement piece, but we're talking about like in this grandiose way, right? Well, I don't think he was thinking, or she, or they, whoever Banksy is, was thinking. Let me see, where is the, where are the values in this rat painting on the wall? Or how does this color flow with that? He, she, or they, Banksy, they make fun of that, right? They're always making fun of that. Very, very, very well done, satirical, extremely well done. But we're no longer in that world, where we can play the unique card just because. Now we have to go deeper. I think we have to go deeper. We have to go to an artist doesn't just paint beautiful anymore. That's why so many people are going to hyper-realism, are going to these extremes, because where is the artist going now? Because it's no longer the idea of realism and beauty have been exploited or have been overused and in good. I mean that in good intentions. Everybody has had a say in that matter. So anyways, to go back to where I started, where Impressionism is dear to me, is because my idea of realism was somewhat strong, where I could look at, when I didn't know anything about art, right? There was nothing to know, I just liked it. I think there's still nothing to know. It's just for fun. But where I would see a painting and be like, oh, I can relate to that. I can relate to those foggy paintings by Claude Monet. I understand that. I understand. I can relate to that fogginess. I can relate to Degas' Valerina. I can relate to that. They're there, but they're showing something else. And I wasn't so much attracted to the realism of them. I was attracted to the point of view in which the story was told. It's the same story. The story is the same one. It doesn't matter how people think they're telling a new story. No one's telling a new story. We're all telling the same damn story. It's the same story of life, humanity. But everybody's telling it from a different point of view. That's what's magical about every artist. It's the point of view that each one of us brings to the table. That's what the whole magic is about, you know. Every little thing is weaving the point of view of the artist. Nothing is there for that much, but it's not there just because. Nothing is extremely important. You know, nothing that this little line is not. It could live without it, but it tells my point of view. The painting could bear without, you know. But I wouldn't be the one telling the story if it didn't have it. It would be someone else, it wouldn't be a Trujillo. That's the beauty of it, you know. The story is the same one. I mean, why do we prefer? We tend to say that someone plays better than someone else. You know, why do we prefer listening to? I don't know. Those of you who like flamenco. You know, any random citizen playing flamenco guitar, as opposed to maybe having the opportunity to have seen or see Paco de Lucia. You know, why? What is it? People get stuck on the idea that it's the talent, it's more talented. And that's the words we use to describe someone with a very strong point of view that has been seen by the world and has shown himself or herself to the world, however they could. Very strong point of view. This is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist, and I hope you guys enjoy this landscape, or not landscape, I'm sorry. This shore seascape. There it is. There it is. Just because. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys can join me for next session. Take care. Bye bye.